In the year 2004, I was only 6 years old. Mark Zuckerberg started a platform we know today as Facebook. Kanye West released his first studio album, College Dropout. And somewhere in the United States, this exact car rolled off a showroom floor.
In tonight's Top Gear, BMW's powerhouse, the brand new M3.
This is my new to me 2004 BMW E46 M3. And if you know me personally, this is a car I've talked about owning for years now. And it's something that I said, when it's all said and done, had to be in my garage. It's funny, I had no plans of owning this car at this point in my life. I spend 100% of my time working on Whistle Motors, trying to figure out where I want to live, where I want to invest my money.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
And then I made one mistake that I feel like every car guy makes. And that was being on Facebook Marketplace way too late at night.
What you're looking at is a sick man. Some of you may know this illness, some of you may not, but unfortunately, I have car junkie syndrome.
It's the real deal. Help me. Help me.
And when you have a million things to do the next day, instead of going to bed and getting a good night's rest, you stay up because your brain is racing and you go to the one place all car junkies go to, Facebook Marketplace. But on this particular night, I did something I usually don't do. I switched my radius to 20 miles and I switched my location to Los Angeles, California, which is not only a place I've never been to, but it's also a place where I know no one out there to help me buy a car. And the reason I did that is because
I was looking for an old BMW M3 to buy and sell, something that I could drive for a little bit, make some content on, and then ultimately sell for a profit. All of the New York dealers I saw were buying these incredibly spec'd M3s and reselling them, and I simply could not figure out where these cars were coming from unless they were coming back from repeat customers or inside their internal networks. But I did know that if I wanted to make some money, I probably should start looking outside of New York, so that I could bring a new product to this market. First, I checked all of the hot states, Florida, Texas, and then ultimately California, which is where this car was listed. It was about 10:30 p.m. in New York time, and the car was just thrown up a couple hours before. I decided to message the seller, and he hit me back right away. The car was a Mola red, the right color. It was a 6-speed manual, the right transmission. And it pretty much checked every single box you could hope for when looking for a decent E46 BMW M3. I guess you could say it was meant to be, or that I genuinely just got lucky, because after that night, I did every single thing you should not do when buying a car. If someone that loved me called me and said, "Ant, should I do this?" I would have told them no, absolutely not, because of A, B, C, and D that you're overlooking. Mind you, I never saw the car outside of a FaceTime call. I didn't know anyone in California to go look at the car for me. I didn't get a pre-purchase inspection. All I had was a clean Carfax, some photos, and this guy's word that I never met in my life from over 2,000 miles away.
Crazy man, you sound insane. Do you realize that? You should be medicated.
And not long after that, we agreed on a price. I put a deposit down on the car, and he was working out some things with the title. And then someone who was familiar with Whistle Motors actually sent me a message on Instagram. And in the DM, he said, "Hey man, I heard you're looking at the red E46 M3. I just want you to know that you can definitely trust the seller. You should have no reservations. I know him personally. And here's a picture of us together if you want to see it." And let me tell you, this picture. And the picture he sent me was of him, his friend, and of course the seller, who I noticed was wearing a shiesty mask. I said, "Oh my God, this guy looks like he's ready to go on a drill. I'm never getting this car." I caught a headache right then and there. But thankfully, because the communication was so good with the seller, meaning he answered any question I had about the car, sent me all his documents, I got his ID, I went along with the sale anyway, and we agreed to do the transaction in halves. What that means is that I sent half the money, and then he sent me the title for the car in the mail, and then I would send him the other half of the money, and then he would ship the car. The reason I wanted to do that was because if I was gonna get scammed, I would only be losing half of the money I agreed to, which I could live with. And if I sent him half the money, he sent me the title, and then I sent the other half of the money, and he wasn't sending the car, technically, I could fly down to California and go pick up what's mine. I just probably had to get down and scrap a little bit. So some time had passed, I sent him the money, I got the title, I sent him the other half of the money, and a couple days later, inside an enclosed trailer, a BMW M3 showed up at my house. I told you in the beginning of the video that the E46 M3 is a car I've wanted for a very long time. So I plan to keep this car for an extended period of time, which means that you'll be getting a lot of content out of this car. So make sure you stay locked to all the Whistle Motor socials. That's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe. And obviously, I bought a car from over 2,000 miles across the country that I didn't see in person. So when it got here, there's some interesting things I learned about this car, and that will be the next video. Again, make sure you like and subscribe. I'm Anthony, this is Whistle Motors, Big Whistle.